We are going to work on our Module 3, Are You Ready? So there's a couple things that you should have already learned that I want to refresh with you before you go ahead and do this assignment. So when we are looking at factor pairs, factors are fewer than the number, and they are two numbers that are going to multiply together to make the other product. And we want to go in order so we make sure we get all of them. We're not just trying to randomly pick and guess. Go in order to make sure you get them all. So the first thing that is going to make 16 is always 1 times itself. So always start with 1, and then we just go from there. And I ask myself, can 2? Well, yes, this is even. So 2 times what is 16? 2 times 8. Can 3 go in here? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So no, it's not going to go into 16. Can 4? Yes, 4 times 4. Now I have doubles. That means I have all of my numbers. So once you have a number you already have or doubles, that means you have found all of the numbers. So 16 has 1, 2, 3 sets of factors that can multiply together to create 16. So let's try 24. So always start with 1 and itself. So 1 times 24, can 2? Yes, 2 times 12, right? I'm not just being like, oh, can 7, can 15, right? Go in order. It makes it so much easier. Can 3? Yes, 3 times 8. Can 4? Yes, 4 times 6. Can 5? No, right? It doesn't end in 5 or 0, so I know 5 can't. And I already have 6, so that means I found all of my factors. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of factors to make 24. So they're just two numbers that multiply together to make another product. Go in order to make sure you get all of the pairs. So when we multiply fractions, we actually do not need common denominators like adding and subtracting. So multiplying fractions is the best. It is our friend. So we take 4/5, we're timesing it by 3/5. I want 4/5 of 3/5. So I have 3/5, I'm cutting it into 4/5 of the piece. So all I do is take my numerators and multiply. 4 times 3 is 12. I take my denominators. 5 times 5 is 25. So this turns into 12 25ths. So our answer is actually getting smaller because we're taking a fraction and taking another part of that fraction. So here we have 1 times 2 is 2 pieces, and 3 times 7 is 21 pieces, 2 21sts. And nothing goes into 2 and 21, so it is simplified. So multiplying fractions, multiply your numerators, multiply your denominators. And dividing fractions, so here we have 3 pieces. And we want to divide each of these 3 pieces in half. Cut, cut, cut. I divided all of those in half. So now I can see I have 6 pieces. So if we do that mathematically, the opposite of divide is multiplication. So multiplication and division are related to each other. Like they're kind of like twins, maybe not identical twins, but they are twins. You can tell that. So instead of dividing, so I can do 1 divided by, or 3 divided by 1. This is 3 over 1. 3 divided by 1 is 3 still. I can't do 1 divided by 2 very nicely. So instead, I'm going to use its twin here, and I keep the first fraction the same. The opposite of divide is to multiply. The opposite of 1/2, if I flip it upside down, is 2 over 1. So now I have a multiplication problem. Multiply the numerators is 6. Multiply the denominators is 1. 6 divided by 1 is 6. Right? We took these 3. We cut each of them into 2 pieces. We made 6. So if we have 1/3, so this one is going to look a little different. So this time we only have a fraction of something, right? We have this whole piece here. And I want to cut that into 5 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, there's 4 and 5, right? But, right, we just have, I'm taking one of these 5 pieces. So these overlapping parts right here, I have 1/15. So here, if I take this 1/3, opposite of divide is to multiply. Right, this is 5 over 1. 5 divided by 1 is still 5. Flip it. So the reciprocal, it's called the multiplicative reciprocal. Reciprocal just means opposite. So I flip everything. So keep the first one. So I copy down the first one. I put a little dot to multiply and flop the second one upside down. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 5 is 15. 1/15. I have this one piece out of 15 squares. So we're just going to copy, dot, flop, use the multiplicative reciprocal to divide, because multiplying is much easier than dividing fractions. So we just want to flip those and use its reciprocal to multiply our fractions. So go ahead and do your Module 3, Are You Ready?